Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to your virtual biology classroom, and we are going to study the topic of pollination in our today's class. Your learning objectives for today's class are that you're going to understand that gametes are present in flowers and the transfer of pollen is occurring by insects, birds, and wind. So let's come to the topic pollination. But before we start off with pollination, we need to know about the two types of the process of reproduction. So the process of reproduction, it basically is categorized into two major types: the asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, as the name indicates, it is that type of reproduction which involves two parents, two different parents, a male parent and a female parent. Gametes are produced during the sexual reproduction. And what are gametes? Gametes are the sex cells or the reproductive cells. If we talk about asexual reproduction, it does not involve two parents and gametes are not formed. So no gametes are required, no gametes are needed in asexual reproduction. Now, in which types of organisms does asexual reproduction usually occur? Since two parents are not required, this type of reproduction occurs usually in unicellular organisms or rarely in very few multicellular organisms. Whereas the sexual reproduction, it occurs almost in all types of multicellular organisms like us humans, animals, and the higher plants. If we talk about asexual reproduction, it is uniparental. Uniparental means just one parent is involved. It could either be the male parent or it could be the female parent. If we talk about sexual reproduction, it is biparental, which means that both parents are involved, the male and the female parent. Gametes are not formed in asexual reproduction. No sex cells are required. No reproductive cells are required. They are also not formed. Whereas in the sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. When gametes are not formed in asexual reproduction, no process of fertilization further occurs, whereas in sexual reproduction, the process of fertilization also takes place. There are no reproductive organs in the organisms which undergo asexual reproduction, but reproductive organs, fully developed reproductive organs, are present in the organisms which undergo sexual reproduction. Since one parent is involved in asexual reproduction, so the characteristics of that one parent can be observed in the offspring that is produced. And since both the parents, the male and the female parent, are involved in sexual reproduction, so the characteristic features of both the parents are inherited in the offspring. Now let's talk about flowers. In our previous lesson, we had studied that flowers are the most beautiful parts of plant and they are the organs of reproduction. So flowers are the organs where sexual reproduction takes place, and sexual reproduction involves gametes. Gametes are also known as sex cells. The male gametes in flowers are the nuclei inside the pollen grain. We know that the male parts of the plant are called the stamen or the androecium, which further consist of the anther and the filament, whereas the female part of the flower is called pistil or carpel or gynoecium, and it consists of stigma, style, ovary, and within the ovary, ovules. So the male gametes in flowers are the nuclei inside the pollen grains. Pollen grains are formed inside the anthers. Anthers are the male parts of the flower. So the nuclei is plural, nucleus is singular. So what is the male gamete in flowers? The nucleus of the pollen grain. Pollen grains are made in the anthers and they contain the male gametes. These are how pollen grains look like under a highly magnified microscope or an electron microscope. So this is a highly magnified image of pollen grains. Let's talk about the process of pollination. Pollination in plants is the process where pollen is transferred from the anther, which is the male part of the flower, to the stigma, which is the female part of the flower. Pollen can be transferred to one plant or even a nearby plant so that they can get fertilized and make more flowers. This happens in plants that have flowers, and the plants bearing flowers are termed as angiosperms. So pollination is the process of transferring of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, from the male part to the female part. So what is pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the flower. Now let's see what stages are there in pollination process. So let's talk about the stages of pollination. So first of all, what happens? A pollen grain from the same or a different flower lands on the stigma. A pollen grain lands onto the stigma, and from where the pollen grain is coming? It is coming from the anthers. So pollen grain, first of all, what happens? A pollen grain from the same or a different flower, it's landing on the stigma. Soon that pollen grain, the pollen grain on the stigma, it stimulates to form a pollen tube. So from that pollen grain, a pollen tube grows down the style. And what happens? The pollen grain nucleus travels down that pollen tube. So over here in the picture, you can see that the pollen grain which has landed previously on the stigma, it has started to form a pollen tube, a yellow pollen tube. And from here, the pollen grain nucleus will go down towards the ovules. Next, what is happening? The pollen tube continues to grow until it reaches the opening of the ovaries. One male gamete nucleus fuses with the female gametes in the ovary. Okay, so the pollen tube, it continues to grow and it reaches towards the opening of the ovary, and then what happens? The nucleus of the pollen grain, it fuses with the nucleus of the ovules or the egg cells. Ovules are also known as egg cells. The female gametes in flowers are the ovules or the egg cells. The nucleus of the egg cells. Okay, let's talk about the types of pollination now. Pollination is basically of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. So on your screens, you can see a picture of a flower. It has been labeled with numbers 1, 2, and 3. 1 represents pollen, 2 represents stigma, and 3 represents anther. This is showing self-pollination. The pollination of a flower by pollen from the same flower or from another flower on the same plant. So it's very important to understand that self-pollination occurs either in the same flower or on another flower which is on the same plant. So let's see what is self-pollination. Self-pollination is the basic form of pollination because it only involves one flower. It only involves one flower. This type of pollination occurs when pollen grains from the anther fall directly onto the stigma of the same flower. So this is very important. When pollen grain forms, the pollen grains, they fall directly onto the stigma from the anther onto the stigma of the same flower. The flower should be the same. Now, what is cross pollination? Over here, you can see two flowers are there, but the flowers are alike. They are of the same type, they are of the same species, and they are of the same kind, you can say. So cross pollination occurs when pollen grains are transferred to a flower from a different plant. There could be two different plants, let's say plant A and plant B, but both plants have to be of the same species. For example, both plants have to be the rose plants. Okay, so cross pollination, if we talk about cross pollination, it refers to a complex type of pollination. Self pollination was very basic, but this cross pollination, it refers to a complex type of pollination that allows the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of the flower into the stigma of another flower of the same type or of the same species. All right. So flowers have to be of the same type, but they could be on two different plants. Now, how does this cross pollination occur? How is the process happening? How does it take place? There need to be some agents to carry out the process, and those agents of pollination include insects, wind, and water. So we can categorize the agents of pollination as the biotic agents. Bio means life. So biotic agents are the living agents, which include insects and birds. And we have the second category of agents of pollination as the abiotic agents or the non-living agents, which include wind and water. So agents of pollination, the agents which bring about the process of pollination include biotic agents, insects and birds, and abiotic agents, wind and water. On the basis of pollination, flowers can be categorized into two basic kinds. And what are those two basic kinds? One is the wind pollinated flowers and the others insect pollinated flowers. So if we talk about wind pollinated flowers, you can see a few pictures of wind pollinated flowers on your screen. Let's study about the characteristic features of such flowers which are pollinated by wind. So the flowers which are pollinated by wind are dull colored. They have small petals without fragrance. There is no nectar in the flower. The anthers are often seen supported outside the flower. The filaments are slender and long. Pollen grains are very light in weight. They are minute, but they are in larger quantity, larger number. The pollen grains may be winged for transport by the wind. The feathery stigmas are there, which are borne on hollow long styles. Then we have insect pollinated flowers, which you can see they are very beautiful. They are brightly colored, and why they are brightly colored? So that they can attract insects. Let's study the characteristic features of insect pollinated flowers. They are brightly colored with large petals, and the petals are usually fragrant. Nectar is produced in the nectaries. Anthers lie deep inside the flower. Filaments are strong and sturdy. Pollen grains are large and present in small numbers. These flowers, the insect pollinated flowers, they may have sticky mass which helps the adherence of insects, and stigma of these flowers lies within the petals. Okay, so in our today's class, what we have studied about the process of pollination, the two types of pollination, cross and self-pollination, the agents which bring about the process of pollination, and the types of flowers on the basis of the agents of pollination, the wind pollinated flowers and the insect pollinated flowers. Thank you very much for your attention.